This happened on a summer night. I'm the type of person who likes having me time. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and I was sitting on my front porch admiring the stars and enjoying a nice cool breeze. I heard my phone buzz, so I sat down to check it. It was my cousin asking me what I was doing up this late. I forced myself to ignore it because it was me time, remember? As I looked up from my phone, straight ahead is my neighbor's house, and in front of a tree, I saw a little girl. She looked about 8 or 9, and she had bright thin ginger hair, and her hair was in 2 pigtail braids. She was wearing a white dress with red polka dots all over it. The dress went right to her knees, and it had white lace around the bottom rim. She was also wearing shiny black heels, almost like something a little girl would wear to a wedding. She looked so harmless. I stared at her for a solid 30 seconds with her staring right back at me. She didn't move, not a muscle. Then behind me I heard a knock. I thought hearing a knock was weird because I live in a brick house. I turned around, and there was nothing there. The wind wasn't even blowing anymore. I go to look back at the girl, and she was gone. I was creeped out, so I went inside. A few days later, I was planning to list a few items on eBay, one being an old doll that I used to play with when I was little. I had the items sitting beside my bed so I could keep an eye on them. I'm getting ready for bed and I notice the doll is looking at me, or at least in the direction of my bed. So like any person would do, I turned the head and made it face my closet. The neck part is pretty stiff, so I wasn't expecting the head to move. I woke up the next morning and the head was looking right back at me. This time, I could feel it staring at me. I turned the doll around completely this time, and nothing else happened with the doll. The rest of the day, I just had this eerie feeling that I was being watched. Eventually, I had had enough of it, and I sat down on the edge of my bed, and I wanted to talk to whatever it was. I assumed it was the little girl from a few nights prior, because it was a doll that had moved out of everything in my room. I sat down and said, "Hello, is this the little girl from the other night?" I didn't get an answer. So I changed the subject and said, "Do you like my doll? Do you want me to keep it? Is that why you moved it?" Again, I got nothing. So I sat in silence for a little while because I didn't know what to say. After about 5 minutes of sitting in silence, I looked forward and saw clothes in my closet swaying. I was so confused because there was nothing on in my room that would cause air to flow or a breeze. I spoke out and said, "Is that it? Do you want me to look in the closet?" Then the clothes stopped moving. I was again extremely confused. I was going to get up and look at my closet, but as I was about to get up, I felt fingers creep on the back of my neck. I had goosebumps down my entire body, and I jolted up from my bed. I looked and nothing was there. This made me frustrated. It's like whatever it was just toying with me or teasing me. So I stood my ground and I said, "Get out! You are not welcome here anymore. Leave!" The eerie feeling of being watched instantly went away. I left the room anyway because I needed to be around people. Nothing has happened since. Anytime someone asks me if I ever had a paranormal experience, that's the first that comes to mind, and I feel like it always will be.